Léonie Martin was an older sister of Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. She is sometimes called the saint's difficult sister. She was born to Saint Louis Martin and his wife, Saint Marie-Azélie, in France in 1863. The couple had 5 daughters who reached adulthood, all of whom became nuns. Léonie had fragile health as a child. By 18 months, she suffered from whooping cough, measles, and eczema. I've seen some people speculate that her eczema is one of the reasons why there are no pictures of her as a young child. Her sisters were bright, lively, and gifted, but she was described as a restless child, and her mother, who died when Léonie was 14, suffered much to care for her. In a letter to her older sister Pauline, Léonie's mother said, "I wish to live a few years to have time to raise my children, especially poor Léonie, who needs me so much and who I feel so sorry for. She has fewer natural gifts than you, but in spite of this, she has a heart that asks to love and be loved." She was known to be rebellious, and she was even expelled from boarding school. Some people have went so far as to call her the lame duck of the saintly family. Léonie's aunt, a nun of the Visitation Order, was one of the only people who believed in her. She said, "She's a difficult child, but I believe that later she will be worth as much as her sisters. She has a heart of gold, and if her intelligence is slow, I find in her good judgment. I can very well see her as a little visitandine." It was later discovered that a household servant had been abusing Léonie physically and verbally. After the servant was removed, Léonie's behavior changed for the better. At the age of 23, she unexpectedly entered the monastery of the Poor Clares, but she found their austerity difficult and left after 6 weeks. A year later, she entered the monastery of the Visitation, but only lasted there 6 months. As her sisters left home one by one to join the religious life, Léonie spent her time caring for their aging and sick father. In 1893, she made another attempt to join the Visitation Order. This attempt was more successful, and she lived there for 2 years, taking the habit. Her father died while she was living there, and she eventually had to leave the monastery due to her own poor health. During this time, she exchanged many letters with her little sister Thérèse. Although Thérèse was her younger sister, she became her spiritual guide. Thérèse died just 3 years after their father, leaving behind a memoir, Story of a Soul. Reading her sister's memoir gave Léonie new hope for her religious vocation. She re-entered the Visitation Order definitively in 1899. She lived there for 41 years. Her aunt's earlier prophecy had come true. Unfortunately, she continued to struggle with poor health for the rest of her life, and she died on June 16, 1941, at the age of 78. Since her death, she has been overshadowed by her saintly parents and sister. Sister Françoise Bernadette, a modern-day Visitation nun, said, "One hardly spoke of her at the beginning of the 20th century, when the dramatic build-up of Thérèse and her glory eclipsed everything. The preachers spoke well of the saint's 3 Carmelite sisters, but of Léonie no mention, as if she had never existed." In the 1960s, her monastery began receiving letters asking for her intercession on behalf of conflicted families. Her sainthood cause was opened in 2015. She is remembered as a kind and gentle person who persevered through obstacles while doing her best to live a holy life.